This conference will now be recorded.
Perfect. So the recording is started, guys. Okay, so this is the project in the yesterday's discussion, and we are left with yesterday I ran one single file. You remember, right? So we have just done one installation, and that installation was with respect to Cypress. So our package.json got updated. Okay, so these are the things which we have done so far. Okay, now moving on, today we will be moving little bit more ahead on this particular section, which is nothing but the JavaScript logic, what how the JavaScript code is being executed and everything. We'll try to check that. So inside JavaScript basic, you guys can see that we don't have anything created so far. Okay, so as you guys are aware, right, whenever we are working with JavaScript, okay, so JavaScript don't have, you can say, we have only one single this thing, data type, which is considered as three keywords basically. Okay, so let me show you that. One is where, one is where we have const, and then we have let. Okay, so these are the three major keywords which we are using in JS, guys. Okay, so now if you think of other PL, other programming language, right, we do have float, string, integer, right, those type of keywords, right, into our Selenium or any other PL. But what JS is saying, like if you declare let a is equal to 10, by default I will consider a as integer. If you say al is equal to hello, by default I consider this as string. So based on your value, whatever you have described, right, it will consider effective value. Okay, so it will consider this as boolean. Just a second, guys. Sorry, my bad. Okay, so what I was saying is, from the basic points of view, I was talking about the data type, right? So you can see that I have declared three values. Like obviously the names are different. Okay, but based on the value which I have given, right, it is actually taking that value. Okay, so a is equal to 10, al is equal to hello, and a double l is equal to true. So if you hover your mouse, by default it will take the respective data type. Okay, let a triple l is equal to a 1. So if you hover your mouse, again it will consider as string. There is no concept of character, guys. Okay, so now this is a simplest way of kind of declaring the value. Okay, so now if I write this, this will create a conflict because I am already using this value, I mean variable, right? So variable av is equal to this, variable a double v is equal to hello. Okay, variable a triple v is equal to true. Okay, and variable a 4 time v is equal to, so now it will create a conflict. So here if you notice, uh, what is the difference between this logic and this, like here it is allowing you to replace the value, guys. Okay, when I say replace, basically if I do console.log now, okay, v triple v, it will allow me to get the value as 2, guys. Okay, but if you try to write the same statement in let a triple l is equal to some value, right, it will not allow you to kind of replace the value, guys. Okay, that's the difference. Please understand the difference between where and let. Okay, now if you save this, now to run the file, guys, okay, JavaScript file, you just need to copy the path. Okay, and over here you need to write node and just run this. Okay, so the value is showing up 2. Only one console.log I have written, that's it, that's the reason. Okay, if you want you can write multiple console.log, guys. Console.log is responsible for kind of how we have system.out.println, same way, guys. Okay, so anybody has any query, doubt, questions? Guys, please feel free to ask. Uh, so we have console.log al, console.log a double l, console.log a triple l. Okay. Now if I try to execute, I will get few of the output which I have value declared over here. That is 10, hello, true. Okay. And the basic things what we have, right? Let sum is equal to a plus al. I think ab, right? A plus ab. Check it out. A is this, ab is this. 10 plus 10 is 20. And now if I do console.log, console.log, you can just write sum. Okay. And now if you run this, you will see that we will get the respective output. So all the basic arithmetic operations, right, whether it is addition, subtraction, whatever we have, right, basic things, you can have it, guys. Okay. If you want, you can declare the value over here. Okay. After that you can assign the value, that is also fine, guys. Okay. So whatever logic, like basics of programming, whatever we have, right, the same comes over here as well. Okay. One major change over here is whenever you declare const. Okay. If you declare anything as const, okay, so it means that that value will remain as it is. If you try to write c is equal to 14122 something, right, this will throw an error over here in the compilation. Okay. Why it is throwing an error? Assignment to the constant variable, it is not allowed. Okay, please remember. So once you declare any value as const, please remember you will not allow to update that value. Okay. Clear, everyone? So on a broader level, I would say, on a broader level, guys, please remember, we have major difference between, you can say, let, where, and const. Okay. So please remember, these are the three keywords which are purely supported in JS as well as TS. Okay. And most of the time we are using this only. Okay, this keywords only. Okay. Anybody wants to add anything? Any questions, guys? Yes, anyone? Please unmute and speak up, guys.
Yeah, can you please explain one more time the difference between where and
Yeah,
let?
perfect. So what happens is, in the, like, let me talk about where first. Okay. So let us consider where. Okay. So in where, please understand, guys, we are having the concept only accessible within the function. Okay. Like if you declare any value, okay, and now that value is present inside a function, I'll explain you how to write the function, don't worry. So where is having the scope only till function. Okay. So scope is limited to function. I'll explain you what is this function I'm talking about. Okay. Now, whatever variable we have declared, right, please remember, if you declare like this, where m is equal to 10. Okay. And now if you try to write a block, because you remember, right, a pair of curly bracket is called as a block. Okay. So basically, if you try to say, console.log, console.log m, it will work fine, guys. Okay. But vice versa is not true. The, if you declare any variables over here, okay, where m is equal to, not m, I'm sorry, mo is equal to 20, and if you write console.log over here, it will not work, guys. For what? For mo. Okay. So please remember, the control is only at the block level. Okay, function level. So scope is limited, guys. Okay, it is a function scope. And please remember, if you are kind of using it, okay, it will remain undeclared. Okay. So it will remain undefined. Okay. So in case of where you can do redeclaration. What is redeclaration, guys? Redeclaration means you are changing the value, simple. Okay. So redeclaration is allowed. And data type where is a mutable data type. Okay. Where is a mutable, like, unlike, only the one data type which is not mutable is a const data type, guys. Okay. These are the major features of the where keyword. Okay, so most of the time we are not using where, guys. It has been depreciated. Okay, not I mean, it's again your whoever is creating the framework, their choice. Most of the time we are using two major keywords. One is let and second is constant. These are the keywords which we are using right now. Okay, so now the concept of let's say what we can say, uh, let, right? Let is nothing but you can consider it has been accessible only within the block. That's it. If you try to access outside the block, we will not be able to access. Okay, so let is accessible only within the block. So accessible only within the block. And with the help of let, you cannot do the redeclaration. Cannot do the redeclaration. Okay, which is allowed in case of let. Okay, and here we can update the value but not in the same block. Okay, if you want to update, you need to kind of come out of the block and then you will be able to update the value, guys. Okay, so let me give you some programming example. Let us create one more file over here. Let data, guys, please remember you need to have the extension as .js only. Okay, so now let me write one logic. Console.log, and I'm saying a. Okay, and after that I'm saying let a is equal to 10. After that I'm creating one block, let b is equal to 20. After that I'm saying console.log and just write b. Okay, and after that I'm saying console.log b. Anybody wants to say something? How the, like, if I run this, what will happen? So we'll get some error, guys, reference error, right? Because you are trying to access this value before declaring. So remove this line. Okay, and use it after this. Save this and run it one more time. Okay, we are getting one more error because you are trying to use b outside the block. Okay, so this is also not allowed. Okay, so if you have b variable within that particular block, right, so you should be using the b variable inside it only. Understood, everyone? Okay, next is, guys, let me talk about const. I'm creating one variable called as pi is equal to 3.14. Okay, which is a constant value. And now we are saying that pi is equal to 3 point some random. This is not allowed, guys. We will get one error. Okay, so how to declare array in this thing? Just write arr is equal to square bracket 1, put comma, guys. Okay, so automatically JS will understand that it's an array of 5. Okay, and after that I'm saying arr dot push means like we are adding one value, let's say adding 4. Okay, and now we are saying console dot log err. Okay, so now basically once I run this, I'll get one error for sure. That is, you are not allowed to do this, guys. Okay, after that you will not get any error. Okay, because although we have declared this as const array, but what it is doing, it is adding 4 at the end of the array length, guys. Okay, so your array length is, let's say, 12, 32, 32, 4, 23. After that it is actually adding what? 4. Am I clear, guys? Anybody has any doubt, questions? The constant array can be changed. The value is not getting updated, guys. Okay, it is getting appended. Okay, any queries, questions, anyone? Okay, so now let's move on to Cypress part. So this was little bit basics about the data type of JS, guys. Again, we'll talk
Uh,
in. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, so why do we need to declare array as constant in that case? Can we go with let?
One simple example. uh,
Mm-hmm.
Obviously we can use other this thing also, not a problem. So broadly we are using two major data this thing access. One is let and second is const. Okay, and although if you declare const, it doesn't mean that the length is fixed. Okay, if you write this line for, let's say, multiple time, right, it will keep on adding the value. So as per logically, like if you consider this, it is not constant, right? You are
Yeah,
increasing length, right? So
correct.
that's the difference between normal const, which is without array, and the const with array logic. So here you see that the array has been having the length of now 8.
Correct. So we can go with let also, right? In that case.
Yeah, yeah, let is also fine. Let is
Okay.
also fine. You can I mean, run the same logic, no change.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, so moving on, guys.
Sir, one question more.
Go ahead, please.
Do we not using the variable type in JavaScript before defining?
VAR is the one, like you are talking about VAR.
No, like if we define any this one any
String.
variable, so return type like.
No, no, that is not required. We are having at the start only, I said we are having only three keywords. Okay, one is where, second is const, and third is let. You cannot use any other keyword for declaring variable. You cannot use string, float, integer. All those things are not required in JS. Okay, so as soon as you declare, right, if you hover your mouse, automatically this AL will come consider as what, string. If you hover your mouse on this, it will say that this is a boolean. Okay, so JS automatically identify that what value you have stored in the respective data type, whatever you have declared, right, whatever variable you have declared, what value is being used. Okay, based on that it will have the respective value. Am I clear?
Sir, could you give an example for the where the way you gave an example for the let?
Okay, in this section, okay, perfect.
Yeah.
So let me consider where also. Okay, so in case of where, what happens, I'll write the same logic again. Okay, in case of console, I know that it is the same file, so don't get confused, guys. Okay, any which ways we will reflect sorry, refer to the last section of the this thing. Okay, so console.log, I'm saying xx. Okay, let's say, or I'll just use 1x because we have not used this variable. Now I'm saying that variable x is equal to 100. Okay, after that I'm creating one block. This is called block, guys. Okay, don't get confused, where y is equal to 120. Okay, so I am declaring one new variable over here. Okay, now I'm saying that console dot log, and I'm saying y. Okay, so try to understand what exactly will happen if you declare y x over here, and if you write here inside the block console dot log x. Okay, so will we get the output as 100? The answer is yes, we'll get the output. Okay, let me show you. Okay, copy this. Oh, copy the path, guys, and for executing the JS file, please use node space the whole file. So everybody can see that we got the output as 100, and we got the output as uh, 120 also, because this value is accessible everywhere, guys. But in case of let, you might have noticed, right, uh, if you declare this inside, right, and if I copy this statement outside, okay, and if I save this, in case of let I'm talking, okay, you will get one error, b is not defined, because this value is having the scope only within this block. That's it. If you go outside the block, the life of b has expired. So this is not a valid statement in case of what? In case of let. But where is saying that declare it anywhere. Okay. Now we have declared this where by inside this, right? And obviously if I'm using console.log outside, we are able to get the output.
Okay.
Okay, perfect.
Mhm.
Vikas,
Go
I
ahead, please.
just want to one question. So you will write the console log x and then you declare value. So there is a 2x console. So only one x is printed, right?
At the end you're talking, so you can see this undefined. This undefined due
Okay,
to
okay,
this
okay.
25.
Okay, okay. It's not taking
It's
okay
not taking
value.
value. And if you remember in let, okay, we got a reference error
Hmm. Yes,
when I was
yes.
writing console.log a at the start. Okay, so that's a
Hmm.
major
Hmm.
in let and where. So if you write like this, we will get saying error. Hey,
Error.
why you are cannot access a before initialization. But in case of
Okay, okay. But
we are able to
where
execute
it depend undefined. Okay,
undefined.
okay.
It is not showing any compilation
Hmm.
error, by the way.
Oh, okay, okay.
Okay,
Thank you.
and I'm repeating again. Please remember, we are having only three keywords for storing all, whether it is an array, whether it is a data, whether it is of type anything, guys. Okay, please remember this thing. Okay, uh, perfect. So yeah, I
One
think.
more question
Go ahead, please.
before we move on. So, where you have mentioned that it is functional scope, right? Function scope, right? But we have not created any function here. We just have created a JS file and then we are working with the var and let. Okay. But when
Mhm.
we declare the let inside the block, it is in scope with that block itself. But where we can use it anywhere, can we say it as an global scope instead of functional scope?
Yeah.
Or
So
why
basically,
is it?
you are correct.
Mm-hmm.
So now,
Mm-hmm.
if I create a function also, okay, like this is a syntax of creating function in our JS logic. Okay, you just need to
Mm-hmm.
write function keyword and just name of the function. Okay. Now, if I let's say wanted to kind of write one logic, let's say console.log, I'll just write y. Okay, because y is having the scope globally. Okay, now at the end I need abc. Okay, so nothing but function call, guys. This is called as function call in JS. Okay, so this is declaration of function and this is function call. Okay, now if I trigger my logic, okay, you will see that 120 is getting printed two times. Okay, one due to line number 30, okay, and one due to line number 34. Clear? So where you can consider, wherever you declare, right, you will be able to use anywhere in the same program. That's for sure. Okay. The only thing is if you try to use where over here, I mean why over here, I mean to say, okay, we might get undefined at the start. Okay.
Yeah.
Later on it is defined. That's the reason. But we are not, I mean our code is not getting, I mean execution is not getting halt. Okay, so you can consider this. Now coming to let, okay, where in this logic, now you have declared this let over here, right, b, and I showed you that whenever we use outside the block itself, right, we are kind of stopped, I mean we are stuck at that point. So if I create function also, okay, let's say xyz, okay, and now if I say console.log, I'll just say b, okay, and I'll call this function, I'll get an error, guys. Okay, why I'll get an error? Because this b is having the life only this block, guys. Okay, it is not having life outside the block. Am I clear, everyone? So now the question arises, if I say let b is equal to 220 again, the life of b is now renewed, like the b is on now. Okay, now if I execute, I'll not get an error. Am I clear, everyone? So obviously in the same block you can declare, it will get killed. in the same block you can obviously in the next block you can again on that particular variable. Okay, that's how it is. Am I clear, everyone? Anybody has any doubt, query, questions, guys, about function also, guys? And the const keyword is same. Const keyword you cannot do anything, guys. Yes, anybody wants to add anything? I hope it is clear to everyone. Anybody has any doubt, query, questions? Okay, so I'll move on to JS, guys. cy.js. In the yesterday's discussion I showed you this, right? Now this was our first cy.js which we created in the yesterday's class. Today I'll create one more for just understanding the basic command, guys. Okay, so Cypress command test.cy.js. Okay, so again, guys, if you notice I'm writing describe, right? You can see that I'm not getting auto suggestion. So in the yesterday's class I told you something. Anybody can recollect that what I mentioned? If I'm not getting auto suggestion,
Reference.
What reference?
yeah,
Command,
so reference I already have inside my command.js.
just refresh it.
I just need to do control S over here. Okay, so do
Okay.
control S and come to the file again. Okay, and now you can declare describe. Understood, everyone? So again, guys, you will use callback function, it block, Cypress command. Okay, so this is a common structure, guys. Every time whenever you create any new thing, every time you will have the same structure. Okay, now what we will do, we will actually visit to one particular URL and try to perform some action on that. Okay, so let us go to the URL. Okay, which is the URL? Like most of you guys are already aware about this practice website, right? Which is open source, a demo.orange hrms. So I'll copy this. So the very first command which we need to have like clarity is cy.visit. Okay, so how we have driver.get, same way we have cy.visit. Okay, the structure, everything remains same. The only thing is every time we will use either single quote or double quote. Okay, cy.visit and just navigate to the URL. cy.visit, navigate to the URL. So this will do what? This will actually navigate to the website, or let's say the URL which I just pasted, guys. Okay, there is no this thing. If you want, you guys can declare one variable, guys. Okay, let URL is equal to single quotes, describe this value over here, and in this, instead of passing the whole the thing, just mention URL. That is also fine, guys. Perfect, clear, everyone? So I have declared this variable let, and then I have used this cy.visit URL. Okay, next, once the URL is visited, after that I need to kind of confirm the URL. Confirm the URL means I need to validate. Okay, validate whether the URL loaded successfully or not. Okay, validate the URL. So basically you can consider this as a assertion. Okay, so for that you just need to do cy.url. Okay, so there is an inbuilt method of URL also. Okay, so whenever we are using any method in Cypress, guys, please remember that you need to have like open close round bracket. Okay, because functions always has those mandatory things. Okay, after that you can add one more dot and just write dot should. Okay, now if you consider this should and hover your mouse, okay, you will see that should is coming. You notice that the should is coming through logic of our Cypress command only, guys. Okay, it's not like out of the box, it's a part of Cypress command only. But whatever I will write now, okay, over here, okay, so here I'm writing, let's say EQ. Okay, so EQ is nothing but EQ, EQL, EQUAL, all three are same, guys. Okay, the purpose of all three is same. So anything is fine, whichever is, let's say, convenient. So what I'm doing, I'm just making sure the value which we have in the URL, it is correct. So I will copy this again. Okay, now I'll not use URL value, guys. I'll use the actual URL, which will be the actually the URL which on which you have navigated, guys. Okay, so this is the command through which you are navigating to the URL, and this is the line you are validating whether the URL is correct or not. Okay, anybody has any query, doubt, questions till this point, guys, what I did just now?
Can you please paste this URL in the chat window?
Sure, I'll do that.
Hello.
Okay, I have pasted, guys, just have a look. So see, again I'm repeating, guys, I'm storing this URL in some this thing. Okay, after that I have just visited the URL. Okay, after that I'm just doing an assertion, guys. Okay, now it's time to run this code, guys. Okay, just 2 lines of code, but I want you to kind of get an idea how the UI will look like, how the assertion will look like. Okay, so I will say npx cypress open. You remember, right, everyone? So this is a command through which you will open the Cypress. Okay, and if you remember in the yesterday's discussion, the version was 13.16.1. So you need to select this. You can select any of the browser, guys. Click on Chrome, click on Start E2E test, and now check the test which has been added. So everyone can see this. Here you notice that it is added a few seconds ago. Now click on this. So once you click on this, it will navigate to the URL which we have used as our test application, and it will do a simple check, which is nothing but the URL is valid or not. Okay, so now, guys, if you hover your mouse one by one, it will actually do time travel logic which I mentioned. So here we have used the visit command, after that we have used the URL command. Okay, and after that it is doing the assertion on the URL. Okay, the green means the assertion is successfully passed. If it is showing red, it means the assertion is not passed. Okay, let me show you the failure logic also. Now please keep in mind that, guys, whenever you do any change into your program, okay, when I say program, basically JS code, automatically Cypress will trigger it test. Okay, so now if I modify any of the value, okay, so let's say if I modify, instead of demo I'll write dem. Okay, as soon as I press Ctrl S, automatically my Cypress test got started, guys. Okay, so here is the logic. So here my assertion got failed, guys. Why it got failed, you are already aware, right? Because I changed the URL. Okay, so visit was the first command, and here it is showing the this thing also, guys. Okay, what was the expected and what is the actual. Okay, and here, guys, I would like to mention one thing about the configuration part. Cypress by default is having the wait time of 4 seconds, guys. Okay, if in 4 seconds it is not able to identify the respective whatever it is looking for, guys, okay, then it will throw an error. Okay, otherwise it will wait for 4 seconds, guys, maximum time, and this time is configurable. Okay, this time is configurable. Anybody has any doubt, questions, query, guys, before I move to the next command? cy.url, everyone are clear?
See this cy dot visit in URL, no any double quoted comma or
By
single
default, we
quoted
have
comma.
declared it as a variable, right? So no need of double quote and
Okay.
anything. Why? Because we have declared this
Uh,
a variable. Otherwise we would
any keyword whenever we declare any let or where
see here whatever
function.
you use,
Hmm.
right? The same thing you need to provide it over here. That's it. Okay. I mean,
Okay, okay,
variable you
okay.
have declared, right? And you can have any value over here.
Hmm.
That's
Okay,
it.
okay.
We are not using double quote or single quote because this is considered as over here. Okay. Next. So everyone understood what is should doing, guys? Try to relate this. Should is nothing but a kind of assertion. Okay. So we are, I mean, forcefully saying that the value should be equal to this. If it is not equal to this, our test should get fail. And if you notice, guys, each and every time I am writing something and saving something, the below code is kind of getting executed. Getting my point? So if you see, I update this automatically after autosave, it actually run this logic. Okay. So what is this law? Basically, right? Cypress default behavior is on every change to the respective test case, Cypress will run the whole flow again, guys. So automatically you will see in the this thing, it might have ran this, guys. Previously it was red, right? Because assertion was not passed. Now it has made these changes and now we are able to kind of execute. Okay. So that is called as, in Cypress, one configuration is there, guys, and that configuration is called as wait for file change. Okay. What is that called, guys? Watch for file change. Make this as false. So when you make this as false, guys, now if you do any changes, it will not do any execution. Okay. So I'm repeating what I did. I went to config.js. Over here, I just added one line called as false. So now if I execute this, okay, it will not kind of execute my files, guys. Okay. So please remember that is mandatory so that it will kind of save your memory, guys. Okay. No need of running test again and again.
Yeah, because can you text the command?
Yeah, so basically you go to this logic. I'll text this, not a problem. And guys, the IntelliSense works very super. So just write watch. Okay, automatically you will get the this thing. And by looking at this, you will hover your mouse. It will say you what is the data type it is expecting. Okay, it is expecting what data, sorry, boolean. So you need to write either true or false. Okay, although I'm sharing the syntax, but still watch for file change. If I make this true, it will keep on, I mean, running my test. If I make this as false, it will not do any execution, guys. Perfect. Okay, the next thing which I wanted to cover over here is cy dot wait. Okay, which is nothing but, you remember, implicit wait, explicit wait, right? Those type of wait. So we have in Cypress, which is nothing but cy.wait. And please remember, wait is always expecting the value in the form of millisecond. Okay, what wait is expecting, guys? Wait is expecting the time in millisecond. Okay, next I wanted to cover cy.pause. Okay, so guys, these are all commands which are very straightforward. By the name itself you will have the understanding. But if you guys are facing any issues, hover your mouse on this command. It will navigate you to the respective page of that particular command where you will see the detail about this particular wait command, guys. Okay, how to use, what are the different examples, and everything will be provided over here. Okay, just I'm showing you at high level. Later on, obviously, I'll talk in detail about these pages. Okay, so this page is considered as a documentation for each and every command whatever we have. Okay, perfect. So we added two more command. One is cy.wait and the next is cy.pause. Okay, after that I will say cy.log, guys. You remember console.log? Similar to this, we have cy.log. Perfect. Save this. So we saved it, but you will notice that my test will not get triggered, right? Why? Because I mean, you remember, right? I changed that value to watch for file change as false. So now I am triggering my test. The final value, it will halt my execution, guys. The reason of that is because I have used cy.pause. So see, wait works in this fashion, guys. So it waited actually 5 seconds. Okay, 5000 milliseconds, so 5 seconds. So you can see pause, guys. Why it is pause? Because I have used cy.pause. So basically those who wants to do debug, right, so they can just go through the previous steps and try to check what all values they have entered and everything. And once they are confident, let's say all the steps are correct, after that they can click on resume, guys. And once I resume, you can see that I'm running Cypress test. Clear, everyone? So everyone are clear with visit command, URL command, wait command, pause command.
Because I have one
Uh,
question.
But
For yeah, if we want to update the test case, do we have to go to this console every time, or can we do that through the Cypress app as well?
okay, so now if I want to so update this test case, right, every time
Yeah.
I need to go to this VS code mandatory, correct? And you need to kind of, whatever code you want to write, you will update that. Now to check the impact, right, into your actual test case, you need to rerun this. Okay, every time. And now if you are talking, let's say you are confident that my test case will work super, like without any error, you can run the test case in uh, headless mode. That is also one option. Okay, no need of opening this Cypress runner.
Okay. But if
Correct.
I want to, yeah, if I want to make a change in the Cypress runner, can I do that without, like for
So
example, I just want to remove the pause, right? I don't want to go to the console. Can I do that through the app?
if you click on this, okay, it actually start your execution, guys. Okay.
Okay.
But if you want to create altogether new spec file, you can create it. That is available. But for modification, guys, you need to come to VS code,
Okay.
mandatory.
Okay.
Yeah,
Sounds
that's a
good.
common editor, default editor.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Perfect. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So guys, moving on.
Hello.
Go ahead, please. Go ahead.
Yeah, actually, I want to know the difference between c.log and console.log. Means what the difference?
Let me write console.log as well. Okay, console.log. I am running Cypress test. I am in console running Cypress test. Okay, now guys, please understand that what I told at the start, that Cypress is having the concept of, due to security, everything is done in under single browser, guys. Okay, if you notice all this action, whatever I'm doing right now, obviously there are less action. So all these actions is being done where, guys? Inside single, you can say browser. There is no open of new tab or nothing, guys. Okay, now what happens with console.log? So for console.log, you need to click on inspect, guys, mandatory. And here you have console area. Okay, and here you will see the line which I have added, guys. Okay, so console.log will add the line to the console area of the browser, guys. And cy.log will add the line inside our actual runner, I mean this particular section. Clear?
Yeah, yeah, clear. Thank you.
Perfect. Yeah. Moving on, guys. I'll comment out cy.pause because I don't want to pause my execution. Okay, I'll close this console area, guys. I hope everyone knows the console Chrome dev tool. Okay, if not, I'll discuss in detail in the coming session. So we are on this page, guys. Okay, so on this page I just need to validate whether the logo is present or not, like orange HRM logo is present or not. Okay, so now we are moving one step ahead, guys. Okay, so I'm introducing one small topic which is called as CSS locator. Okay, so CSS locator, because why I'm talking about CSS locator, what is locator? First of all, Cypress does not support any of the locator other than CSS by default, guys. Okay, please remember, in Selenium we have support for total 8 locators, right? uh, but Cypress does not have the support for any of the locator other than what? CSS. Okay, Cypress purely works on CSS, cascading style sheet. Okay, now Cypress has got one beautiful this thing, which is nothing but this icon, guys, and this icon is responsible for inspecting any of the element which is present over the UI. Okay, so our final page on which we landed is this one, right? Now click on this, guys. Okay, so you can see an hand icon, guys. Okay, please remember, you should see an hand icon. So once you see a hand icon, if you click on that, the complete screen will turn out to be light, like this light yellow, sorry, bluish color. And after that, you need to inspect on any of the element on which you need to work, guys. Okay, so right now, let's say I told that I need to check logo. So click on this logo. So once you click on this logo, one value will get updated over here. Okay, so this value is nothing but your actual CSS locator, guys. Okay, so I'll copy this to clipboard, go to my Cypress, this thing, just write like this, Control V. The whole command got added as it is, guys. I didn't do anything. So here I just wanted to make you aware that cy.get is responsible for identifying the page element, or let's say web element or element from the pages, guys. Okay, when I say page, I'm talking about web page, guys. Okay, so from the web page, if we need to capture any value, okay, right now please don't bother about this. I'll explain you in detail how this value is coming, how the CSS locators are being written. Okay, so I've added this. I got this value from where, guys? Just I copied it. So till the time this blue color is highlighted, you will be able to inspect all the element over this UI. If you don't want to, again click on this blue icon. Simple. Okay, I'm repeating, I'll do this process again. I'll click on this, I'm inspecting this, yeah, this one. Okay, I got the locator, copy it, go to this section, Control V. So there are two locators which I copied, guys. One is the icon which is let's say what is written HR for all, and second is orange HRM. Perfect. Anybody got any doubt, query, questions, guys, before I jump onto VS Code, guys? How I have copied the locator. Okay, so now moving on, guys. Over here I copied two values. One is this one and second is this one. Okay, don't worry about why this is greater than sign, why img, what is this img. Okay, I'll explain you all. Over here we are just doing one simple exercise. What is this get command? So get command is responsible for identifying the element over the UI. Okay, guys, please clear everyone. So inside get, it is mandatory that you should use only CSS selector. If you think I will use XPath, if you think I will use link text, partial link text, or let's say name, tag name, all are not allowed, guys. Okay, please remember Cypress support only one locator, and that locator is called as CSS locator. Okay, so everyone are clear? Now to explain this in detail, I'll talk about this in tomorrow's session, how we are writing the CSS selector. But I just wanted to highlight this. When you are on this page, you need to validate whether you are actually on this page. So again, I will just say dot should. Okay. And here we have a lot of assertion, guys. Out of that, one is b dot visible. Okay. So b dot visible means whether it is visible or not. Okay. Dot should b dot visible. Okay, so let me do negative assertion, guys. Okay, b dot not dot visible. Okay, not dot b dot visible. Okay, so all these assertions are coming from where, guys? I told you in the yesterday's discussion, which is chai. Okay, so guys, I have used, obviously my test will fail at line number 25 because it is visible and I'm trying to do negative assertion. Okay, so I think we are good. Let's run it. So I've commented out cy.pause, guys, so it will not pause. Okay, perfect. So we are stuck, guys. We will get red color. Yeah, saying that It is visible and you are trying to write not dot visible. How come it is possible, right? So you just need to update this not to change to be dot visible. Perfect, clear everyone? Anybody got any doubt, query, questions, guys? Now, you remember I told you about time travel. So when you hover your mouse on each of this step, right? So you will see on the right hand side the same. Things are getting highlighted, guys. Okay, that's what it is talking about. Cypress. Perfect. Clear. Okay. Now let me do one quick activity so that our complete test will be done. Inspect this. I am not doing, I'll explain you all this how the locators are being captured. Copy this dot, we have a command called type. Okay, and in type you need to write single quote or double quotes the respective username. Okay, password. Copy this, control V, dot type. What is the password? Admin123, I think so. Let me check. Admin1, yeah. So type is a command which is similar to send keys in Selenium. Okay, type will be responsible for entering the text value into our text field, guys. Okay, into our editor. So guys, don't worry about this long CSS selector. Okay, I'll talk about this in detail in the tomorrow's discussion. Okay, but I hope everyone understood the overall let's say the structure. And the last thing which I need to do is login, right? So copy this, and on button what you need to do, guys, you need to click, right? You don't need to send type, right? So you just write click. Understood everyone? Anybody has any doubt, query, questions?
Sorry to interrupt because I have one question.
Go ahead, please.
Actually, now you have showed the automatic you are getting
Okay.
like locator in web page. So
CSS
suppose in web page drop down or date picker is present, and then also we are getting locators automatic. Just you show now like we are getting locators. You spy on that icon in Cypress and
Okay, so your question is more of like whether we will get the locator for all the element or not, right? The answer is
yes,
no.
yes.
Get the locator for all the element. Okay, we will get the locator only for, and although this is not recommended, guys. Okay, don't get into this saying that hey, I will use this CSS. No. Okay, if you consider real time framework, guys, please remember we will not recommend to use this. This is what Cypress is generating, guys. Okay, we will use our own strategy to create the like short CSS locator so that whoever is referring to the framework, they can understand, yeah, this is like the locator of password, this is the locator of username. Getting my point? So we will not recommend to use this, guys. This is just I'm showing you for the demo purpose. Okay, how Cypress is identifying the element, how we can use those element and perform the respective actions on those element. Okay, but yes, in real time we will not completely rely on that spy and identify the locator, guys. Okay, we will create our own locator by using some strategies for CSS. That's for sure. Okay,
Okay.
perfect. So yeah, I
Okay.
understand the query. So let's say if I want to identify the locator of this, so I need to close this. I need to inspect this, guys. Okay, and after inspecting I'll obviously share some detailed discussion, like detail let's say understanding on how we identify the element, what are the different ways of identifying the CSS selector. So everyone can see that name is equal to username is there, right? So I'll copy this name is equal to username, right? And I'll go to VS code, I'll remove this, and instead of this I will just write one logic, simple logic, that is square bracket name is equal to username. This also becomes a valid CSS selector, guys. Okay, so I'll keep this as it is right now. Obviously in tomorrow's discussion I'll explain you what are the different ways of identifying the CSS selector. Okay, how we can write the CSS selector, so this makes more sense, right? Whoever is referring to your code, he will have the understanding, yeah, this is a username field, and in username field you are trying to pass admin, correct? By looking at this, you will not get any idea like what exactly is this locator, which is this locator, right? So that's the major this thing, guys. Please remember, just for understanding purpose, for let's say for the sake of making your test case, let's say, executed right successfully, I have used this logic. Okay, perfect. Let's run it, guys. I think we clicked on login button also, right? So let's run it, and this operations will be very very fast, guys. So you will not be able to kind of, if you want to understand, you can provide one wait actually. Okay, after entering username and password. So username enter, password enter, and clicked on login. Clear everyone? Anybody has any doubt, query, questions, guys, before we wind up today? Okay, so guys, just we have created one simple code wherein we just saw some of the command. So we started with visit, we spoke about URL, then we spoke about wait, pause, and then we spoke about get command. Okay, so along with get we saw what is like type and what is click. Okay, how these commands are working. Okay, so in tomorrow's discussion we will, let's say, go a little bit more in detail about this locator strategies, guys. Okay, so yeah, please feel free to ask your queries, doubts, question if anybody has anything to, I mean, add, guys. Okay, otherwise we'll meet tomorrow at same time, guys. Yes, anyone, you can ask any questions, guys. Perfect. So guys, I know like some of you might be having queries like whether we'll get the code and everything. The answer is yes. Once we start like this thing, right, I'll have one repo which is created commonly for you all, guys, and that repo link will be shared with you. And on daily basis, I'll push my changes, whatever we are doing in our live sessions. And on daily basis, you will get the details, guys. Okay, perfect.
So Isha, I actually forgot to tell. So actually, I want to know that in this session, if we continue further further, then we also learn the way of how to write in framework, how to we use the framework, page
Yeah, yeah.
object pattern. I think
Basically,
all things will cover in this session,
so
right?
this is how the structure I told you, right? The structure will be first will cover, try to cover almost like 70 to 80% of UI logic. Okay. So UI logic, as in when I say UI logic, so what somebody mentioned, right? Whether we will able to cover drop down, calendar, let's say date picker, right? We have alerts, we have, let's say, different resolutions of devices, then we have radio button, checkboxes. Okay, so all this UI element will be covered first. Okay, then we'll move to, let's say, some of the API logic, how we are writing the API test case, and then we'll move to the framework, guys. So framework will be at the end, like totally I told you total three frameworks will be having, right? One is two on UI, one on API.
Okay, okay, fine.
The framework creation will be also from scratch.
Okay,
Okay, so like the file which I'm creating, same way we'll create the file over there as well. And then if it is Cucumber, then we may create feature file, step dev, and all those things. Okay,
okay, okay.
perfect. Okay, so yeah, I think we are good. Let me stop the recording.